How we relate to money, our attitude about it, is a direct reflection of the level of consciousness we are at. It isn't about how much you have at this point in your life, whether you are struggling or whether you are in abundance because you have attained success. But it is all about how you perceive it, because money is a form of energy. And if you are in an energetic level where there is the least bit of fear of surviving on a physical level, then on some level you are actually fearing physical death. And this is coming into play about how you treat yourself regarding money and how you treat others. And when you get to the bottom of this understanding and you really look at it honestly, you will heal at a soul level and you will rise completely above poverty consciousness. If you are new to this channel, I'm Cynthia Greer, a spiritualist who works at the in-depth level of the soul, and this means that I cover all aspects of life situations to help you become well-rounded on your journey of soul evolution as you master everything that being in the three-dimensional earth plane in a physical body is required of you to grow and develop. Now, if you find what I do helpful, please press the like, subscribe, and share buttons, as I am completely self-funded without monetization or sponsorship. I have expenses for my materials, my bandwidth, and also for any product that I review in honesty that I feel could help you. So let's get into it. When a society begins to go completely third world before it dissipates into obscurity or collapses to the point where a new government completely comes in and changes everything. And unfortunately, in many cases, not often for the better, to where there may be hundreds of years of authoritarian rule, which brings great hardship and difficulty on its people for generations. All of this is a reflection of the consciousness that got that society there to begin with. And the majority of consciousness is what determines what comes into play. And this is something that throughout history, as mankind has developed industrial-wise and now technology-wise in the digital age, that the majority are not seen clearly, although many believe that they have arrived and they have all of the answers. Yet the same scenario repeats over and over again. And that is a huge gap between wealth and poverty, between class and caste systems that reflect living life fully, abundantly, in a beautiful, healthy environment, as opposed to living in continual poverty and sickness in a very repressive environment. And this is what is reflected in many parts of the world today, but within some governments is conveniently kept hidden due to oppression, while in other governments it is out in the open. As an American living in the U.S., who has experienced a catastrophic illness that brought on a serious disability, I am someone who has lived what I am speaking of. And I have definitely had to work within the restrictions and the limitations that lack of finances have created in my life. And very early in the illness, I knew that it wasn't so much about what I didn't have, but it was about how I was going to handle the situation that I was in without falling apart on a mental and emotional level in order to survive the catastrophic illness. And there were many things that I learned along the way. And of course, as somebody who digitally creates on the internet, I have had the opportunity to observe a lot and to be able to see what really holds people back and keeps them from their highest good. So when we think about money and we think about energy, we have to have an ample amount of energy. We have to have the thought of abundance in our mind first before we can actually open the doors to the avenue in which it can come. So it's a lot more simple than you think. You have to look at where your mind is. So, one reflection of poverty consciousness, and the biggest one that I see, is when people who are in lack and limitation start judging others who are in abundance. And they start condemning and criticizing what this individual has, what they are buying, and the lifestyle they are living, without knowing the truth, because they don't know that individual personally. It, at this point, is a perceived idea that they have. Now, yes, of course, people get things illegally. They get things by harming other people. But that's not what this message is all about. If you truly want to heal and open the channels to your God-given good, you must take the focus off of what everyone else has that you don't have, because that is jealousy. Jealousy is biblically one of the 7 deadly sins. And with it comes entity attachment that can cause you to see everything warped and blow everything out of proportion. So when that is taking up space in your mind, you are completely cutting yourself off from your God intelligence. When you perceive something and you are following a group of people and you know nothing about the situation, and you are spending all of this time on the internet, scoping it out, making comments, ask yourself this question: do you really know what you're talking about? Do they really know what they're talking about? If you are condemning someone for taking help, you may not be aware that that individual was given the help through a grant that was donated. Stop the parroting that you paid for it out of your tax money and that something is coming off of you. That is a very unhealthy way to think and to behave. Because in the U.S., which on a divine level, it was meant for everyone to have that opportunity to live in health and abundance, if that is what they truly choose to do. You never know the situation. Just like you never know the situation of how someone got sick or how they came into oppression. You don't know their personal situation. So when you are working with any kind of condemnation and judgment, whether it's against someone that doesn't have enough, that is getting help, or someone who has arrived, who can do whatever they want, you're keeping your consciousness down. And it is causing more doubt within yourself. And that doubt within yourself is blocking you from opening to the God intelligence, which could give you direction on how to handle your finances, perhaps open up a business, or if you are in a business, take it beyond where it is at and to go full throttle with divinely managing it on a higher level to attract the clientele that you truly desire. But you can't do this if you are in the lower realms of consciousness. And the lower realms of consciousness are when your focus is always on the outer instead of the inner. True abundance comes when you keep your spirit at home. So in closing, I welcome you to take a moment of silence with me and to focus on your heart center, to focus on the energy of divine love and what exactly is keeping your heart beating at this time. The love that you were created with, that is divine, that we give all the glory, all the power, and all the credit to God, the Almighty, one God over all. And we call in this divine, loving source to heal the afflictions within the heart. And now we move into the mind and ask for divine guidance, divine enlightenment, for the mind to be cleared of all unnecessary thoughts, all obsessions, the obsession of lack, the obsession of limitation, and to open to true abundance. What true abundance really means. To open to the light of God that never fails. To open to the experiences that are in life at this time. To know that all grief, all sorrow, all lack, all limitation, these are temporary situations. They are not destined for all time and eternity, and they have never been meant to control your life. For you are a divine being. You are love. You are wholeness. And it is your divine right to use your mind, your consciousness, in a way that is free, that is unencumbered by the thoughts, the opinions, the lower energies of failure, doom, and gloom. And in the name of my beloved mighty I Am Presence, and the beloved mighty I Am Presence of all who are so wise with me, I call forth only the highest good, only the power of God in divine light and divine consciousness to heal every soul that chooses to represent the divinity of God in action, and through healing the life force will in turn begin to heal on a planetary level. I send you great love and many blessings.